There are people in your life you don't need who are just negative. Every time they are negative. If you say, I'm about to buy a car, they say, car is difficult. You cannot get a car. You were applying for a visa to Britain and someone just told you, Britain! Isn't it amazing how there are people in your life who make a situation worse just by seeing it? I told you this. I remember going to the Caribbean islands. I would move from Sri Lanka, all these locations, to just preach. So I was going all these locations when I started this. And I was known for the prophetic as much as I'm known here for the prophetic. So I would know what would happen next minute as much as I would know what will happen next hour. And as I'm ministering like that, I was moving around the world, going from everywhere. Private jet here, private jet there. And then I got to a point where I'm flying to this location on a private jet. And I'm sitting here, there, my wife here. I'm sitting there, our other partner here with his wife. And we have a pilot and a co-pilot. So 7 with the air hostess there. And listen to me. For those who heard it, it's good to hear it again. I'm in there and I'm enjoying this presence in there. And people are asking me about the exploits that have been used by God to do. So I'm telling them about how we traveled beyond the curtain of time and we've seen things, how we healed the sick, how we travel even beyond time. That journeys that are 2 hours, we can arrive in 7 minutes in some moments as we are given ability by the Holy Ghost. So I'm telling them all this, and then they started talking to me about the prophetic and say, how do you know everything in the prophetic? I said, look, everything God tells me, I know. If he doesn't tell me, I don't know. So it's okay. So you can tell where we are going. I said, yes, when we arrive, there will be this person, there will be this. I'm now telling them what will happen when we land. Everybody's like, what? You understand? Then they said, now we are about to descend. No problem. So because this is a private thing, you can, the pilot doesn't have to be, those who not that, this is a private jet. So he just says, you can use the restroom if you're, to freshen up. And I said, I'm going. I get in there and put the tape on. There is a cobra. As a man of God, and there's a general in the spirit, I spoke to the snake. I want to say that. I left. I walked nicely back on, I left it there. And I said to the people, it's a cobra. The air hostess ran and opened and said, no, it's a king cobra. Isn't it amazing? I'm talking to somebody. Isn't it amazing how there are people in your life who make a situation worse just by seeing it? I wish I could talk to somebody. I want to say something. You were applying for a visa to Britain and someone just told you, Britain! You think you get a visa to where? Britain! Even you know. The way they say Britain, you would know. I'm not getting this visa no matter what. The person comes from Chipezeze in Zaka. They will tell you it's difficult now to go to Britain. Are you in Britain? No. Where do you come from, Chipezeze? Have you ever applied? No. But Britain nowadays, it's a non-starter. No. My cousin tried. My uncle tried. My father tried. My mother tried. I also tried twice. There are people in your life you don't need who are just negative. Every time they are negative. If you say, I'm about to buy a car, they say, car is difficult. You cannot get a car. Not nowadays. If it was last year. My brother said, I want to buy this car, these American cars. One of his friends said, it's not allowed. I looked at the friend, I said, my brother, it's not allowed by who? It's just not allowed. Have you ever seen it in Britain? So if you have not seen it, it's not allowed. Who told you? They just know. So the air hostess said, no, it's really not a cobra. It's a king cobra, not a queen. Not a child cobra, not a cousin. King. Now all of a sudden my fear increased. But at this time, I'm wondering, I need to know what she has done because I left the door open. Now, since we are descending, if it's a huge plane, it can descend almost in this way, you know. If it's a small plane, it can go this way until it gets to a certain altitude where. And then I looked back. I realized the snake is now outside of the sink. It's now on the floor. And the door is open. And I'm the one, my wife was sitting there. I was sitting here, and I was sitting there close to the events. But since the devil represents snake and I'm a prophet, I did not fear anything. But I felt deep love for my wife that I sat in the same seat with her. I don't know if you're understanding these things. You people who are here in church and you're sitting, the husband here, the wife, you don't love each other. You will sit in the same chair if you loved each other. And now we are in the same seat. I left the chair that is close to me. Then the pilot said, "What's happening there?" And the air hostess screamed at the top of her voice, "King Cobra." In the bathroom? No, it's now in the fuselage. The main. He said, "Okay, we are no longer descending. I'm now going up." Hi. We need to descend now. Pack this thing. Now imagine I'm the prophet that they were asking what's going to happen. I managed to see what was going to happen when we landed. I missed what was taking place right there. Now, I'm thinking, why are we going up? Now for me to scream, I'm major. Everyone there wants to hear my stories, my exploits. I'm the most spiritual person in that place. The whole journey, it was my stories that they were talking, videos that they watched, and people that couldn't give birth, that gave birth, some gave birth in church, people who were dead that resurrected. Now there is a king cobra. I confronted death, and people were raised from the dead. Now here is king cobra. All of them are deal with this thing. I'm thinking, God, make somebody deal with this thing. Have you ever heard God say to you, "Who will I send?" And you say, "Here I am, O Lord, send them." I get in, and this guy says, "Now we are going up." I couldn't complain, but I'm complaining in my heart. Like, this guy is crazy. He'll get us killed here. I start thinking, does he have, these antidotes for venom? Forget prayer. Anti-venom. We get to another room. He says, I'm coming in. Where? He says, I put the plane on autopilot. Let me come in. He came in. He took those silver platters. Are you getting this? Walked straight to the snake, as I should have done. He grabs the snake by the neck, put it in the plate, and covered it. And put that plastic wrapper and put it in the corner. And went back and started. I felt like God had shown me these things. We landed. And exactly the people I said would be waiting for us, the people that didn't even believe were going to be there because they had cancelled, were waiting for us on the tarmac. And I wanted to fly. And then we come out with my wife, and they come out, and we got to the place. All I needed to ask this man was, how? This guy is white. Who knows what they do in those places? He says to me, "Oh yeah, it was so easy for me to grab it." I said, "What juju did you use?" He says, "You know what? I used to read about animal behavior, and I went for a zoo before. I said, He said, snakes cannot stand high altitudes. The moment you take them to a high altitude, they freeze. They can't bite, they can't move, and if they stay there for long, they will die. So what I did to the snake was to take it to a location where he couldn't survive. So most of times, no, I don't need to give you the revelation. You got it already. I said you got the revelation already. All I need with the devil is to take him to a higher level. Just by being here right now, you have taken your problem to a higher level where it cannot stand. It can't be sustained in that level. Sometimes all you need to do is to come to this location. You just arrive. Come. You are here. And you stand there. And nobody can do nothing now. That's why we call it the solution ground. In Zambia, we had people, after we had prayed for people with HIV, we had over 100 people HIV tested, healed. Guess what happened? One man arrived late and he got tested and sat down. Said, Prophet has already finished praying. But it doesn't matter. I'm late, but the environment is here. Went back to be tested, negative. He brought his problem to a higher altitude.
A good news world with Uebert Angel, provoking a reaction and always worth hearing.